Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SV Talk, joined by the 5-foot in the world, Joseph Manello, and check out my notes. That's not Chicago.
No, this is not Chicago. I'm actually in California at the moment. So this is the lovely deck I have outside my.
What a view!
I know, right outside my door. I'm kind of excited by that. And sorry for you on the podcast if you can't see this, but I'm in Los Olivos.
You can't see the fenced-in wall outside of her patio. There's
But
literally
but it's just like a nice little bricked-in step. And I could sit outside, and there's a fire pit. Come on!
I know. Look at all that stuff.
There's a fire pit out there.
Sorry. Fantastic. I had a thought hit my mind. Jill, you have a shared garage.
I do.
And this week that caused an enormous amount of confusion, frustration, haterade. I don't know. The comments were like, how the hell do you have a shared garage? But you've been in Chicago how many years now? And have you always had a shared garage?
No. So when we were renting a house, I did not have a shared garage, but in all of the apartments, I had either shared garage or shared parking spaces.
So if you don't know this, there's a 2-car garage outside of Jill's place there in Chicago. And there's a line of concrete. They poured the concrete and they put the lines in like you would, so it doesn't help stop it cracking and things. Mm-hmm. But they use that line right in the middle of the garage to basically say you have one space to the right, one space to the left. And so she shares a garage with a neighbor.
Mm-hmm. So I live in a 4-unit building, and they have 2 garage spaces. I have one, and my neighbor has another one.
Yeah, that's all it is, folks.
Yeah, I'm not. I somebody said I was living in poverty, and that was why I was sharing a garage with somebody. And I was like, I am a journalist,
right?
That's probably a fair statement. It's a fair assessment. But no, that's what happens in Chicago. You share garages with people you don't know.
Yeah. So somebody made a forum post about it, like the internet's losing their minds, and they were sharing screen grabs of the comments. And I'm like, you've shared with the audience at times your shared garage. Look at that, shared at times with the audience shared garage. Wow, that's awesome sentence there, Tim. I'm drinking water over here, by the way. Water. But yeah, it sounds like it's pretty crazy that you have a shared garage, and I don't know. But that's Chicago, and I visited her place with her husband, and we've checked it out, and it's a different lifestyle. That's all I have to say.
It is. Yeah. It's living in a city, and but yeah, it makes me laugh that I get those comments. They're like, wait. Talk to me about this sharing a garage thing. I get that. And then I also, and I haven't had this for a while, probably because a new season hasn't started, but I have people ask me if I live in the same neighborhood as the Shameless people.
Oh, yes.
They're like, that looks like the Shameless alley. And I'm like, nope, that is not the Shameless alley.
Watch, Shameless is shot in Brazil or Spain, so like the Westerns. So all these spaghetti Westerns growing up, I watched as a kid, were all shot in Spain. They're none of them were in the Southwest United States. They're all shot in Spain. And so it's just, I don't know, people think this stuff.
No, I do believe parts of Shameless are actually shot in Chicago, but it's the Bridgeport neighborhood. So it's on the kind of like the south side. It's by Sox Park. Rather than the northeast side, which is, where I live. But yeah, it's very funny. So I get, the Shameless. Oh, and I have to say the new thing, other than the shared garage in the Shameless neighborhood, is people looking at the wiring in my alley, and they're like, how is that safe?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh, I guess it's Italy. I thought it was Spain. Sorry, guys. I thought the spaghetti Westerns were Spain, but I guess they're Italy. But yeah, so it's the wiring setup in Chicago.
They're like, that can't be legal. And I'm like, no, it exactly is legal.
It is something. Yes. Wow. All right.
But we digress.
I know. I'm on topic. I'm a little bit not myself tonight. Sorry, guys. I'm a little worn out and tired. I've been busting my butt at the gym and doing stuff, and I'm just.
Yeah, I've been up since 2:30, so I don't want to hear it.
You don't know. Yeah. Did you even go to bed? Did you even bother?
I did. And then I got a workout in, which is, I'm still in my workout clothes. So thank you for bearing with me.
Oh, yes. Dark 30. I thought it was, I didn't realize it was 2:30.
Well, Dark 30. I got to the airport at 5:30.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I was up. I mean, so it was like 4:30 Chicago time, but 2:30 California time, 3:30 your time. So
Yeah, all right, good.
Lots of time zones there.
I'm glad we got that all sorted out. I was very
Dark 30. Yes.
Dark 30. All right, let's should we talk some truck stuff?
We can.
I think we.
Is that why we're here?
Yeah, I think so. Spaghetti Westerns, shared parking spot, Dark 30. I was noticing something, Jill, and I'm just going to assume you didn't notice the same thing I noticed, but I've been scrolling on Facebook as I normally do and starting fights, which I actually did that tonight, which was fun. But anyways, I've been noticing, and I've been watching more sports and TV lately, and there's been a lot more ads for deals on trucks, a lot more incentives, a lot more interest rates are being lower, a lot more, hey, look, we're giving cash allowance now on a trade. We're helping you out more on trades. And it occurred to me that we've gone through this span of things getting hyperinflation and more expensive. We're seeing gas prices come down. We're hearing the Fed is actually going to cut an interest rate point or so. So we're seeing things change. And so I just did this thing, and I thought I'd talk about, because I'm sure it's going to cause lots of debate and conversation. And Tim, you're wrong, damn it. And look, I appreciate that in your area, at your store, at your dealership, at the place, it's something different. But I'm just looking nationally, and I just thought it interesting. I pulled this up. So this is Chevrolet.com. They have a 2024 Chevy Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT, which is the base trim, 5.3 liter. Total value of $5,750. And they have cash allowance. They have a trade-in assistance. That's 10% below MSRP. Okay, so that's Chevy. Ford is offering some deals too. I had to scroll down through this. Zero APR financing for 36 months with zero down payment and no payments for 90 days. F-150 is included in that, and Expedition, Explorer, Escape, and Edge. And then, or you get 0% APR financing for 60 months, and you have Ford and 50 Lightning, or you have 0% APR financing in 72 months, no payments for 90 days. You have Lightning, Mustang, Mach-E, some Mach-E's. They're trying to get rid of those Mach-E's. Bronco and the Bronco Sport Big Bend, both Big Bend editions. Zero payment, zero down payment, zero first payment, zero security deposit. That I think is a lease for $451 a month for the Bronco Sport, or $570 for the Bronco. Okay, another lease deals. I was looking at Ram trucks. I don't know what this is. I was looking at my Ford dealership in town, and they have an XLT that's only $1,000 off. But with prices used to be add dealer markup on top of that. I thought that was all right. I was looking at a Ford Ranger in Michigan, and it was like $3,000 off, brand new Ford Ranger. Ram just announced $3,000 retail cash consumer allowance, no payment for 90 days, financed through Stellantis Financial Services. And I'm getting, $11,000 off the Ram I'm buying or something like that. Toyota, national sales event, no APR or low APR, 60 months. National sales event, $369 a month, 36 months for lease deals. I mean, it seems like I'm seeing some incentives come into play, and I'm seeing prices maybe are going down. I don't know. Bud Guy says I have seen up to $13,000 off a 2024 Ford F-250 XTS. Yeah, the Ford, I noticed the Super Duties were getting big discounts on them. Mm-hmm. I noticed walking in dealership, looking at spec sheet on the Windows truck build, the prices did go up, but at the same time, more features are included compared to my 2019 XLT. That's a really good comment there, Abacus Express. That's smart. I get so many times people will say, well, I paid X number of dollars for my F-150. Oh, really? What did you do? When did you buy that? Oh, in like 2010. Okay. Do you have roll-up windows? Yes. Okay. So that truck doesn't exist anymore. So that truck it's not apples to apples. So I don't know. I've been shopping for a new vehicle for my wife. We're not exactly happy with her Trailblazer. I'm not happy with it either. And so we want something different. And so I've been shopping around, kind of looking at stuff. And I'm looking at some prices that may be going down. So I don't know I know as the average transaction price for trucks has gone down. Incentives are going up. Dealership lots are getting filled up again, which means cash in the hood. Time to go more cash in the hood and move those vehicles. I know some of these shock jock YouTube channels will be like, oh no, Ram's going under. Look how these trucks in the lot. No, that's what was supposed to be. That's the way it is.
Because you can't remember back 4 years pre-COVID.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and Doug says, I wish those trucks existed though. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be a savvy shopper. You gotta look around. I mean, you got to find deals on specific trim levels and things they want to blow out. I mean, I know there's some deals in my area, like for example, the Big Bend, that specific trim. Well, they overbuilt that trim, so they're going to give deals on those. So, if you're willing to give up a few features here and there, or willing to get some, flexible, you might be able to find some good deals.
Yeah, and and I have to say, I feel like this trend isn't just with trucks right now. I was talking with Tom Appel that I do the Car Stuff podcast with, and we were discussing Mazda a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about, oh, yay, Mazda sales are up. They're through the roof. They're on a tear. Everything is great. Well, you know what else is on a tear? Their incentives. Like Mazda never used to have to incent their vehicles, and they have, they're probably just breaking even on their sales. So I feel like we're kind of entering this post-COVID glut right now of, the supply chain and manufacturing is finally starting to catch up with, and maybe, even surpassing demand. And so I think for trucks, for SUVs, for anything, I think that you're really going to find a lot of good deals right now. So it's, and don't quote me on this, but from what I've been seeing, just, peripherally and listening to automotive news, the stuff that you just pulled up now, it seems like now might be a really good time to buy if you're looking for a new vehicle.
Yeah, I think, even if you don't buy right now, I think it's a good time to start shopping. It's definitely, for me, I'm shopping. I have the Ram RHO lined up. I want to do something with my wife's vehicle. I want to get something different. So I've been kind of shopping and looking around and thinking about what to do. And as we head into the third quarter, even into the fourth quarter, as we get towards year-end numbers, I think we're going to see a lot of incentives come this fall, winter. So Doug says, I'm curious what sales numbers will look like for August. I agree. Looking at the numbers going through, let's see, what is so we have to wait till end of September to get some of the numbers because the quarterly results only come from certain manufacturers. Right. But I will get Toyota sends me an email every month as far as their sales results. I'll be curious to see how some of the trucks are doing. So it is. I feel like I don't know how it's like on a dealership level. I don't work at dealerships. I appreciate that, but just from a consumer standpoint for myself shopping around, it seems like there is some optimism to find some decent deals.
Yeah, and I will say, I think sales for this quarter are going to be a little bit off because of the hack that we had happen at CDK.
CDK, yeah.
So I feel like July sales were probably half of where they should have been or would have been had that not happened. So I think that sales numbers are probably going to be a little bit skewed this quarter. So, it's probably going to be the total year end that I think are going to be more relatively accurate or more
balanced,
telling. More telling.
Yeah.
Because this quarter just had a bit of a bum deal. So it's like you've got people trying to buy cars, people not being able to buy cars, and then more supply, and then rebates, and then more people wanting to buy cars. So I don't know. It's an interesting situation right now.
Yeah, and it's going to be with the presidential race going on. That always spurs on advertising, spurs on people's concern. People are optimistic. It depends how you look at things. And so that's going to skew the numbers a little bit too. So like I said, I'll be curious to see what happens at the end of this month. I'll be curious to see what happens end of November, end of December. How are things going to change? How are things going to pan out? And what's going to happen with the economy overall? We're seeing, like I said, interest rates. The Fed's finally talking about cutting some rates. We're seeing some prices drop. I was at Walmart yesterday, and I bought some groceries, and I have to look at the cart, and $150 there in groceries. And I thought, you know what? This is closer to what it should be. It's the volume of groceries versus the money I spent. I'm like, it's closer. It's not there yet. It's closer. It's I don't know. It's one of those things. Speaking of buying, Brenner wants to know, Tim, I've owned Toyota, 3 syllables, Tim, Toyota, and GM trucks. Never owned a Ram, but have fallen in love with the Bighorn at my local dealership at $10,000 discount. Can I trust Ram reliability? You seem to have faith in Ram. The reason I have faith in Ram today more than ever is that their reliability has gone up consistently in all the reports I've seen, quarter by quarter by quarter. Now, you can tell me you don't like consumer reports. You can tell me you don't like JD Power. You can tell me you don't like your uncle's brother's cousin down the street who's a mechanic. You tell me whatever you're going to tell me. But I'm seeing a consistent survey report come back that keeps placing Ram at a higher level, and that's the highest level they've been. I've been doing this job 14 years that I've ever seen. And so I think they've done a lot more. And the thing is, like, the 2025 Ram is not that much different the prior gen. The engine's the biggest deal.
It's not a new generation. It's a refresh.
Yeah, with
the engine is different. Yeah.
Right, but and the thing is, it's not a new powertrain. This is something the Jeep Wagoneer and Grand Wagoneer have had. So it's and honestly, these days, I know people still don't like turbocharged engines. They still poo-poo them for reliability. We're not seeing that either. So and a turbocharged engine is not new. It's not something new that's brand new. It's something that's just it's been out in the marketplace for a while, and engineers know how to do this stuff. This is not like a completely new technology. This is turbocharged engines been around for over a decade. Look at the Ford F-150 EcoBoost, and now Ford offers EcoBoost throughout the lineup. I mean, as far as what people feel about turbos and reliability, that has to go to the wayside at some point. Yeah. So, and then Bud Guy says medical dealers don't seem to want to discount much, but haven't seen a lot of big discounts out of state. Also, the dealer still has a 2023 Super Duty and that hasn't discounted that much. Must have faith he can sell that.
I know. I'm like, that's a stubborn dealer, is what that is.
That's a very stubborn dealer. So, yeah, I don't know. I have optimism for Ram's reliability based on reports I'm seeing and based on the press loans I've had in the last couple of years. It feels like a much better truck as far as overall build quality and things I've seen. Now, again, I'm still going to get my first Ram truck this year. I've driven a lot of Rams over the years, but I've never had one for a year, and I'm going to be curious, be interested to see what's going to happen with it. And you've driven a new Ram with a Hurricane, haven't you? Or are you going to? You have. So, all right, look here, guys. I get a Ram Tradesman, and somebody gets a Ram Tungsten.
Somebody lives in the country. Somebody lives in the city.
Look who's the boss of this relationship here. So,
like there was ever any question about that.
But you've driven. I mean, so the Hurricane is solid, right?
Good. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, it's not like, oh my God, but it's good.
Yeah, I don't think I only have driven the high output version because I've only driven the Tungsten and the Rebel, and I think both of those have the high output engine.
Yeah, the Tungsten does for sure. I think the Rebel you can get a high output. Ooh, I'm not going to quote myself on that one.
Yeah, when I was driving the Rebel, it took me a while to get used to like the braking and the power. And so I have the Tungsten coming, and I'm hopefully going to be moving. Actually, that wasn't the one. This is the one I wanted to show. I can't wait to get the Tungsten, and I think I'm going to drive that to Indianapolis. I have a grill in Indianapolis that I need to move to Chicago. So when we moved my mom from her townhouse to an apartment, she can't have a grill at her apartment. So
this grill, yeah.
I'm inheriting the grill. So, and my husband's like, how are we getting it up 2 flights of stairs? And I'm like, hello, what am I, chopped liver? And he was like, and I'm like, come on, I can do this. So this could be interesting. There may be video. I don't know.
My advice to you is take out the propane bottle.
Oh, 100%. Yes.
The grill weighs like a third as heavy as the propane bottle is heavy. The problem.
I know.
The grill is really light, but
it's going to be awkward. It's going to be awkward because it's it's a little bit wider, and we have these winding
stairway to hell.
It is not a stairway to hell.
Jesus Christ, that thing! Holy cow!
Yeah, he had to take a break halfway up, and he's like, "Oh my God, this is awful." And I'm like, "It's 2 flights."
But it's like a weird turn. No, not
2
okay.
Flights.
Not happening. That's my bitch about Jill's place. All right. Yeah, that's bitches. About that. Oh, I'm now live. Oh, great. I just got an email from YouTube. I want to get to Ford's secret plans. I mean, Ford's plans.
Sorry. I have to apologize to Mike.
Oh, he didn't. Yeah, political comment didn't get the highlight.
Okay, here we go. We will now highlight your comment, Mike.
Well, so he says big time, a more advanced versions of the goings on in USA. You lost me there, buddy. I'm not quite sure.
We're a little confused about what I think there was a conversation going on above that we totally missed. So I think Mike is from Canada. I could be wrong about that.
Yes, he did. Oh, they're talking about ribeye steaks. These guys are
okay.
All right.
Got it. So up there, he was saying it's like $93 for 3 ribeye steaks up in Canada.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, fresh cut ribeyes for $8.99 at a pound of butcher shop. So wow, that's a lot of money for steaks. So again, just to be 1,000,000,000% clear, I'm not saying that trucks are getting cheaper for everybody. I'm not saying the economy is amazing. I'm not saying interest rates are going. I'm just saying I'm starting to notice a trend that makes me optimistic that maybe truck prices are coming down. I hope that answers all those questions coming.
Well, I think all prices are coming down. I'm gonna go with that. It's not just trucks.
Yeah, I don't know. Our local fast food chain still wants $11.50 for a cheeseburger, fries, and a drink, which I don't order fast food anymore. I refuse. But my kids, it's a fast food burger place, right? So boys, and I'm just tired of paying that money. like I have started boycotting restaurants. I eat at home all the time. They're always like, "You want to go to eat?" I'm like, "No, no, not really." But that's just me. And golf has gotten more expensive. Still expensive. Why is golf expensive?
Life is expensive. It's my so I don't do fast food except I will eat Wendy's chili.
Yeah. Well, and you get a coffee, which I guess I don't know if Starbucks is fast food or what you would consider it, but you get a coffee and a chili. I mean, I've never. Yeah, I've traveled with Jill. Trust me, I understand her eating habits.
It's usually it's really funny. One of our automotive colleagues, Kamatni Rollins, is vegan, and I drove with him last week, and we were on the Volvo EX90 program, which review coming next week. And we were talking, and he was like, "So, like, when you get home," he's like, "What do you do?" And I was like, "I want green things." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "I want green things. Like, I'm eating all this crap when I'm traveling, and crap to me is like I had." I'll go to dinner and they'll give me like a 3-course meal or whatever. And it's just too much food. I don't need it. And so like really all I want when I get home is like a salad. I want green things.
Yeah.
So,
I usually make a shake when I get home. I usually make a protein shake with spinach and the berries like your husband showed me to make. Real quick before we get the Ford news, there was a conversation this last week on the forum as well. I've been kind of following. There was a rail lockout in Canada. One of the big rail companies locked out the workers. It looks like the strike is over. It's going to binding arbitration, but you may have some delay in parts going from there. What's a Runza?
Somebody's stalking you on Facebook.
All right. So this came up, and I'm going to get a little political at the moment, but the vice president to be candidate, whatever we're doing.
Tim Walz.
Walz. Yeah, Tim Walz.
Vice president nominee, Tim Walz.
Right. Thank you for that. He stopped at Runza because he taught in Nebraska, and he actually lived in a small town in Nebraska. Yeah. So this is a Runza. This is not the Runza. I'm going to show you the Runza here in a little bit. It's a cheeseburger, crinkle fries. They make frings. They make a thing they call frings, which is French fries and onion rings together in one little. You can get that instead. But this is what a Runza is. Come here. It's right here. This is a Runza. It's a cabbage burger. It's like cabbage with hamburger, and you put it into this dough and you fold it over and you make basically a handheld out of it. So imagine this is like you can handheld it, and it's a cabbage burger handheld with you give it cheese, not with cheese. They make a Swiss the sandwich you see Swiss mushroom and burger. They put that in a Runza as well. That's an option too. And so yes, and you can buy them and ship them, and it's known throughout Nebraska. They have a couple locations now in Colorado. It's been around for 70-some. I think it's the 75th year. They're celebrating 75th year in business, and it's a big deal around here. It's one of the things they do, and this is I still haven't figured this one out, and it goes back to the roots. My wife, when she was a child, went to school around here. And they do a cinnamon roll and chili combo. And I've asked this question a few times, like, do you take the cinnamon roll and dip it in the chili? Do you eat it whatever? And she's like, no. Some people did, but what we do is you'd have the chili, then the cinnamon roll is your dessert. And the lunch ladies who were German, a lot of people, there's a very German population here. It was something they made in Germany. It was something they brought back with them, and it is weird, and they'll do it in the fall and winter. They're now cinnamon rolls and chili, and I've bought it. and I eat mine separately. I don't I don't dunk it, but it's something they do around here. It's a really thing. So there's a TikTok of Waltz going through and saying he had to stop and get a Runza when he was in Lincoln or something like that, and so it's not mine. It's him running for vice president. It's a big conversation piece around here because Nebraska usually we're a flyover state for crying out loud. We're a flyover state. That's who we are. Nobody really, the Huskers aren't in the Huskers went to the Big Ten for football, and we've been losing for years. So if you don't talk about Husker football, you don't talk about Nebraska. There's nothing else here. Oh, women's volleyball. Women's volleyball is a huge sport in Nebraska. It's huge. I have cousins who will drive to Lincoln 7 hours away one way to go watch women's basketball tournaments. And women last year lost to Wisconsin in the championship game, but they beat them the year before. They've been national championships for them. And so, yeah, it's interesting. So that's a big thing around here. I don't watch basketball or volleyball except for the Olympics, because that's fun to USA that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was a big deal around here. So that's a Runza. That's a little peak in the world. I mean, it's basically I have one right down the street. It's not even half mile away, and we had another one across town.
You can walk there.
Yeah, you just got to watch out for the cattle trucks. So we live at there's a street that ends in a 4-way stop, and the cattle trucks come through town, load up cattle north of town, and we're like on the main thoroughfare through town. And so you just got to watch those trucks. That's all I'm going to say. Those semi trucks loaded with cattle. They don't stop so quickly. No, not beach volleyball. Although I have been known to watch girls beach volleyball. So back to the Ford Bronco Sport conversation. Jill and I were unfortunately not able to come to this event that was happening in Nashville or wherever they had it last week or whatever the deal was. So, but we got the news on pickuptrucktalk.com, and it's refreshed. The Bronco Sports refreshed, and this, by the way, is going to take over for the. We're going to get this Escape or Edge. I have details.
I think aren't both Escape and Edge going away?
I feel like they are. So we.
But I feel like Escape and the Bronco Sport are built on the same platform. I think Edge is built on a different platform.
Yeah, we're going to get.
I haven't seen an Edge in years.
Right. So we have future plans for Ford. We have it pulled up here on future products. We'll talk about what they're up to. Just happened to be they published the Bronco Sport embargo information ended on Monday, and we have Auto News story started up Tuesday showing what the future plans are. So just timing was what happened here. So one thing that's interesting that they're making a big deal about was the Sasquatch off-road package.
Mm-hmm.
Sasquatch. Previously only available on Badlands, now available on Outer Banks models as well. Packages include 29-inch Goodyear Territory all-terrain tires, Bilstein rear shocks with piston-sensitive damping, standard front brush guard, steel skid plates, steel bash plates, and 4 recovery points. Some more. There's new off-road goat mode, off-road rally mode, and trail pedal. I struggle with this one, Jill. I saw one today driving through my neighborhood, and I looked at it, and is it just me, or do I just think that this is not an off-roader?
I think it's just you. I feel like Bronco Sport won the X-Cross class last year in Ravel.
But do you see it? I mean, is a Sasquatch package on that something that you got excited about?
So here's what I thought was really interesting. I had to read the press materials like 4 times before I understood. Like, I thought they were trying to tell me Sasquatch package had never been on Bronco Sport. That would have been a big deal. But no, what they're doing is they're just adding it to one more trim. So I'm like, okay, that's less of a big deal.
But I agree with you. I feel like the press materials, and I feel like what we got was Sasquatch. I mean, it was.
And I was just like, but you already had Sasquatch. You just added it to another trim. To me, the bigger deal is the technology that they've added, because it essentially gets the Maverick treatment. So I got to see the Maverick, the new 2025 Ford Maverick, in person a few weeks ago, and it gets this bigger infotainment screen, the digital cluster, and the Sync 4, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And so to me, I'm like, okay, you've expanded off-road capability along the trims, yay, but the more functional things are going to be the technology and the fact that, your safety suite is now standard.
Yeah, auto high beams, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, rear parking sensors. Rear parking sensors should be standard. Adaptive cruise control, lane centering, and basic steer assist. So I would agree with you. It was awkward for me. Like, I couldn't go, so I didn't quite get the information invites like that. And they have a really interesting tie down application for the front fender. Shows if you're listening to podcasts, right, there's a on the front fender, there's basically what it appears to be a piece of steel that comes out it's attached on like a swivel, on maybe like a swivel bolt or something like this, and comes out, and you can put a tie down hook to that, and you can tie down your cargo on top of your Bronco Sport. So I don't know. I had a problem. I don't know. I've driven the Bronco Sport. I think it's okay. I'm not like over the moon on it, but
I like the Bronco Sport. I thought the version I drove was a little bit plastic, but I feel like they have a lot of clever features on it, and so I don't know. I mean, I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the customizability. I like the technology. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I want to say I would say this. I like it. I don't love it. That's what I want to say. The Bronco is more for me. I definitely get excited when I see a Bronco. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. All right. Speaking of getting our facts straight, as people are correcting us in the comments, let's discuss.
Oh, and I should say, J. Ray pointed out that the Edge is gone already, and that the Escape is going for next year. So that's kind of what I was thinking. And I think that the thought is that Escape, or the baby Bronco, is essentially taking over the market that Escape had.
Yeah, here's my issue with that is rental fleets, and those kind of companies love the little Escape. And so will they switch to Bronco Sport? Ford tried that before. They tried to move people from a Ranger to an F-150 when they killed the Ranger. So it'd be interesting to see what happens with that. I don't know. All right, so getting to more details from Ford, they made big news, I think it was last week, when they pivoted away from they rolled back some of the EV vehicle plans. They're going to make more hybrids. Thank God. Make more hybrids. And they're going to...
GM still has not gotten that memo.
No. They're going to expand the portfolio of Mustangs, Broncos, and Mavericks, all trying to get more hybrids. They're going to do other products like Explorer, Expedition, and Transit. Bet to continue. They're going to winnow its utility lineup when it drops the Escape by the end of next year, as people have pointed out. Earlier this year, Ford abandoned plans to retool a Canadian plant for EVs. Instead, they do more Super Duty trucks there. So if we scroll down, we're going to see some things going on. So they talk about F-150 Lightning. I'm going to kind of get to the bottom. They intend to end production of F-150 Lightning in Dearborn in the next few months, launching a next-generation full-size pickup at the Blue Oval City plant in Tennessee, leaving the future of the Rogue EV Center in doubt. The next-generation pickup is supposed to be called T3. They pushed it back one more year, as per the announcement a couple of days ago.
And when they say next-generation pickup truck, I had to read that a couple of times. They're talking about the next-generation electric pickup truck.
Yeah. No, it is a little bit confusing on that one too. But they are working on a new Lightning that's going to be, or a new thing's going to replace the Lightning. It's going to be the same size of Lightning, just it's going to be Trust the truck. And Farley has said the design is, quote, awesome. Oh, yeah. All right. They're looking at a mid-size pickup truck as well. That's EV. They've been working on that for a while. Look, as an idea, it's unclear if it's a rebadged Ranger or get a new name. I think a mid-size pickup that's EV makes more sense for me than a full-size pickup that's EV. I don't know.
And I feel like you and I've had this conversation before offline. I 100% agree with that. Like a full-size EV for towing and range just doesn't necessarily make sense to me. But like mid-size, where you're not going to be doing like all the towing and truck things, but you're going to be doing some of the towing and truck things, that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I think the expectations are different. For sure, mid-size versus full-size. E-Transit, they're going to keep that going. 3-row hybrid crossover. So that was the news. They were going to do a 3-row EV SUV. And they
have one in Europe.
Yep, and they killed that and then said, no, we're going to do a hybrid crossover as 3 rows instead. Mustang Mach-E is going to keep going. Looks like they're going to do redesign in 2027. They're trying to do a small crossover as well. That was part of that news as well. They're going to do a small 2 crossovers. You can do a 3-row crossover and a small crossover that are EVs, and that's what's going to replace some of their plans for that 3-row EV as well. So
that's the EV stuff. Now moving
that's
on
EV
to the
stuff,
gas
yeah.
stuff.
Super Duty.
So
Super
Mike,
Duty,
you can tune back in now.
right? Super Duty will give you a new hybrid powertrain, and I really hope that if they do Super Duty with a hybrid powertrain, I hope it's like the Power Boost where they have the 7.2 kilowatts power on board. It'd be really cool for people, Super Duties, to go out boondock camping and plug into their truck versus running off the camper batteries the entire weekend. It just to me, it gives more options and flexibility.
Now, this will be the first hybrid in a Super Duty, right?
It's first hybrid and heavy duty I've ever seen. I've never, this would be very unique, and I'll be really, and people have been asking for this for a while, and they just haven't done it. So I'll be really curious what works out. And I think from a fleet standpoint, I mean, I know not everybody in the fleet, not everybody in construction needs power at the truck, because a lot of times job sites have power and things like that. They have power. But again, flexibility. I think of a lot of ranchers near me that work on, they are a mile and a half from the house. So instead of carrying a generator and extra gas for the generator, they can just take their truck out and plug right in their truck. It's just, to me, it's more convenient. F-150 was updated last year. Well, they're going to update. They also updated Tremor and Raptor. And so nothing until 2027. Ranger, sales are down because it delayed by last year's UAW strike. People were asking me on different podcasts and things about why the 2.7 liter Ranger isn't out yet and why does it take so long. Guys, that UAW strike really pushed things back. It was a big deal, which is why I covered it. We did 4 or 5 videos, and Jill wrote about it. I mean, it's a big deal. It was a big.
If Jill wrote about it, it was a big deal.
Even
Jill wrote about it.
So, the Raptors, they're looking for a refresh in 2027. It is expected to add a hybrid powertrain in 2027 because Jim Farley has said hybrid everything.
Hybrid all the things.
All the things. All right. So Ford Maverick, which we see on the screen. Sorry if you're on the podcast, but there's a nice green Ford Maverick. Was just refreshed, and they finally got. I don't know why it took so long. All-wheel drive on a hybrid powertrain.
Mm-hmm.
For crying out loud! Why was that so long to get that done? And as soon as it launched 2021, I said it. You said it. We all said it. I mean, it's just for crying out loud. This is crazy. Yeah, we all said it. There is a Maverick-based van. Apparently, they showed this van and surprised dealers at an August meeting by showing a physical prototype of a Maverick-based van. That makes sense to me. It makes a lot of sense to have a little van. Basically, you have to me, it seems like it'd be a Maverick with a topper, essentially. The van.
Well, because we saw that when we went to the truck show where they had in Indianapolis a few years ago, and they converted a Maverick into and it was really cool.
Yeah. I've seen that with the little camping rigs too. I mean, it makes sense. Oh, the one with the cup. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Transit is a key product for commercial businesses. It seems like there's the Transit Trail, which Jill did a video on last year, which blew up. I don't know. Sometimes we do videos and all of a sudden out of the blue, we're like, wait, what? People watch the hell out of that one. All right.
It's like, how many views did that get?
Yeah. And it was one of those programs where I was like, Jill, can you go? She's like, yeah. And so she flew over.
Damn
and
it,
you were there for 5, 6, 7 hours.
4 hours. I literally flew in, went to the program, did a walk around. They drove me back to the airport.
Yeah. And then boom, it took off. So that was kind of cool. So there's no major updates. They're going to keep building them. Looking at some of their SUVs, Expedition, we're expecting a redesign Expedition by the end of this year with plans to go production 2025. They're talking about the large display, some of the Lincoln Nautilus, and expect to get the Tremor variant because they had a Timberline. They were trying to do this Timberline thing, and nobody really bought that. Tremor has more name recognition. So there'll be Ford will freshen the next generation Expedition in 2028. It could add a hybrid at that point. Bronco sales are down through July, but the new Bronco is expected to be freshened in the first half of 2025. Likely, and you may hear this a few more times, interior tech, new paint colors and accessories. Yes, that's and it'll probably be a hybrid powertrain. I mean, that's kind of that's going to be the game plan for most automakers moving forward. Ford and maybe GM if they get on the ball. Hybrids, more technology, more paint colors and more accessories. It seems like we've been seeing that time and time again. Explorer was just recently freshened, and Jill, you just got a chance to drive the Explorer. The Timberline is expected to leave. Tremor is going to take over. So
they simplified the trim line, and I actually have the 2025 Explorer waiting for me when I get back to Chicago.
Yeah.
So by the way, if you have any questions, if you didn't watch my video, or if you did watch my video and I didn't answer something, or if there's something you want to see on it, let me know.
Okay. The Bronco Sport, we just talked about the Bronco Sport making a bunch of changes there. And they're looking at 2027 redesigned when broken record. Hybrid powertrain. Yes. Escape is to end production, and the hybrid Escape by end 2025 as it shifts completely or fully to the Bronco Sport. So you're going to have a Bronco Sport, no Edge, no Escape. I don't know. Mustang, we don't care really about Mustang. All right. So that's kind of your behind the scenes secret information about Ford, what they're doing. Really simple game plan, hybrid, the bigger screens. People like that stuff. People like to talk about. They don't like that stuff on our comments and things, but customers seem like they like it, so they're going to build more of that stuff. And so we can see more of that happening. Oh yes. Toyota, Jay Ray points out, Toyota also announced late today expect hybrid tech in all models by 2027. The story is that a Toyota executive was on record saying they're strongly considering moving all of their powertrains to hybrid only. So they've done this with the Camry. They've done this with the Grand Highlander is hybrid or turbo. No.
Yeah, no, that's not hybrid. So the Sienna is hybrid only.
Yes.
Is Sequoia hybrid only?
Yeah, I think so.
So Sequoia may be hybrid only, and then I think it's just Camry, Sienna, and
what about that Crown? Does that Crown?
Oh yeah, Crown is hybrid only as well.
I think probably the Crown Signia they're coming out with this.
So Crown Signia.
Yeah, Toyota has been moving towards hybrid for a while.
But every vehicle they have, I think, except for Land Cruiser and 4Runner, right, have hybrid powertrains in addition to gasoline.
No, the 4Runner and Land Cruiser have one. I actually have a hybrid Land Cruiser outside right now. iForce Max, yeah, the iForce Max. So what I would tell people is
I miss Toyota Palooza, so I don't.
You miss Toyota Palooza. No, the thing that I tell people is that hybrid doesn't always mean better fuel economy. What Toyota does in their cars, and they do a much better fuel economy. Some SUVs they do, but if you're a truck-based platform, they have gone to more torque and horsepower. So
essentially, Toyota already has hybrid tech in all of their models. What model doesn't have hybrid tech?
I think they have them all their models. They're just talking about just
so BRZ, or not BRZ, FRS. No, what do they call it? 86. I will get there, damn it. So the 86 doesn't have a hybrid. So does that mean it's going away, or will it get hybrid tech? Supra also doesn't have hybrid. And then the GR Corolla. But the regular sedan Corolla has a hybrid, but like the hatchback does not.
But they could move some powertrains from like the Camry over. They could do some things, moving stuff around. I mean, I think you're just talking about just killing just the base turbocharged engines, or especially naturally aspirated engines as well. I don't know. It's interesting. All right. Foss wants to know if they're going to add a cooled steering wheel for me. Look, I made a video, Jill. You probably missed it because we haven't been in touch for it. Jill's been traveling. I've been not traveling, which is great. But I was outside my son's school. It was 100 degrees out, and the steering wheel in the Lexus NX was really freaking hot. It's black steering wheel. It's really hot. And I said, here's my weird thought of the day. And I was literally sitting in line, picking my kid up, bored. I said, why don't they make a cooled steering wheel? Why don't they make something that, well, I know you're cold about everything. Don't give me that look. I know you're cold about everything.
I know, I'm like, my fingers are like white at the moment because I'm cold.
Right. So it actually turns out Ford has a patent. They're working on this. They're working on the idea, though, is that when you precondition your vehicle like you would an EV, what they're gonna do is they're gonna turn the steering wheel so that the vents hit it in different ways. And then somebody else pointed out, a friend of mine, he goes, they do cooled in like the off-road stock racing suits and things. They have like little like water lines and things that go through your suit. why don't you do that? And I was like, I don't know. Interesting. So something different. I was out there. I made a funny kind of video about asking a question, and people were like, "You pussy!" Come on, guys. I just whatever. So
I would be in favor of a cooled gear shift, especially like the ones that have like metal on them. Like that burns your hands. Like,
yeah.
Ooh, warm leather. Okay, get over it. But like warm metal, now that's a different story.
Yeah, or like I don't know. And again, I'm not an engineer. I don't know what or what it would take to do it. I'm just saying, if the cars are getting more and more advanced and we're getting more and more features, why not a cool steering wheel? Just throw it out there. I just throw it out there. Just that's what it is. Seamus wants to know if the Toyota's move and Ford's move is all about emissions. Yeah, I mean to a degree, but also I think what people miss about hybrids is you go drive one. They're really fun to drive, and customers want them. Like if you go drive the same vehicle, you drive one that's a naturally aspirated, you drive one that's a turbo, and one that's a hybrid. I can almost guarantee you're going to go, wow, the hybrid is really quick, really fast, with lots of power. And that's another reason why the automakers going that way. They're like, why? Like, if I'm an automaker and I'm going to go, I can just build one powertrain, make more money, and give what the customers want. Why even build a turbo? So I think there's two things going on there. I think automakers are saying, hybrid technology is really good. Fuel economy is much better. Customers want that stuff. The price isn't that much difference, right? So why not just do it?
Well, yeah, you get more power. Like even if the fuel economy isn't awesome, right, it's better, and you get the power. The benefit of power.
Right. Well, and like we said with Toyota, like the Sienna went full hybrid, and nobody complained about it. I mean, my uncle's got one. He gets like almost 40 miles per gallon just driving around town in a minivan. He's like, I don't care about emissions, but I definitely care about passing the gas station. And he does the throttle trick where he tries to ease out the throttle, roll up the stop signs. He does the thing.
He's hypermiling.
In a way, he is as best he can, but he's trying to keep in EV mode as best he can. That's his plan.
That would be hypermiling.
Yeah, so he's doing it, and he's getting really good fuel economy. I have a friend who went and bought a Toyota Grand Highlander, and he gets 35 miles per gallon. And he's like, I don't want a turbo. I have the power here. I got the fuel economy, and the price point was good. So I don't know. I think there's two factors at play. I think emissions is making some changes, but also that the hybrid systems have gotten really good. So I think that's what's going on with that. Okay. There. We went through the questions, went through the topics. We know Jill's in California. We know that your world is on a slant. I'm not sure, but the screen show you're like this, and the screen's like this, and I'm like, look at the lamp behind you.
I'm leaning. Sorry.
Oh, you're leaning. Oh, yeah.
Leaning Tower of Cinderella.
Because the lamp's on an angle behind you. I'm just like looking. I keep wanting to adjust your screen.
Better? I don't know. No, so I'm going to be driving the refreshed Hyundai Tucson this week in California. So if you guys have questions, again, just comment below and I'll try and see what I can answer. But I will only have tomorrow to drive it. So
I got to show this because I got permission to show this. So
no.
What? These are cool.
I know exactly where you're going, and I'm like, no.
Why not? There are fish photos from Doug. It's on the forum.pickuptrucktalk.com, and he was fishing in Hakui Pass. It's too spendy to fish up there, but it's easy to catch fish. Beautiful part of the world. Oh, look at that! Wow, that's an amazing sunrise, sunset. Great photo there. Wow. Look at that wood, Jill. It looks like that is really interesting wood. What do you think? She's not commenting.
And that is a cool little passageway. And
look at the lights. The lights hit a little romantic setting. And waterfall from the boat. That's cool. Huh. Yeah. So, and there's some fish. Wow.
Ooh, dead fish.
Doug did pretty well. All right. Lots of dead fish. Okay, there we go. So there you go, Doug. I shared your photos about that. 4Runner review. 4Runner is, as far as we know, pushed back.
TBD.
Yeah. As far as we understand, the parts issues happening. There was supposed to be a press drive in September. That got pushed back.
Mm-hmm.
No announcement when the new press drive is. No announcement when vehicles are going to be built. Toyota is being kind of mum on that at the moment. So there is nothing to do with the 4Runner. It's been a while since we've seen any 4Runner news. And there, yeah. All right, I'm gonna end the live stream. I think we talked about enough topics.
Okay.
I'm tired. I'm gonna go sit in my chair. All right, for more, check videos over here. Website down below is all pickuptrucktalk.com. Also the forum to pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. We will see you down the road.